we have got World Championship, World Champions, World Champions, and Paul Nicholson! On a serious note, Paul, it gets underway, and I think we can safely say we have never seen such an open World Championship, would you believe?
I think when it comes to this time of year, we always seem to think that it's going to be the most open, but I think this year we can all say that there are many contenders for it. And you look at Price, you look at Humphreys and what he's done over the last 3 major championships, but there are many other players who have snuck under the radar over the last few months. Who in this room would be surprised to see Rob Cross win this championship?
Mark, of course, you'll spend most of your time on the punditry side of this. It is a fantastic World Championship. You know how to win a World Championship. It was the BDO, it's still a World Championship, but there's something... There's something very, very special about the Alexandra. Thank you. Something very special about the Alexandra Palace and what goes on up there over Christmas.
Are those teeth marks in your shoes there, Paul? No, the Ali Palace is fantastic. Obviously, we've all played there. It's just like the nerves are worse in any event there is. You want to get through those first 2 rounds now. Try and get yourself to after Christmas, and then the business part starts. So yeah, it's a nervy one, and I'm glad I'm watching and not playing anymore. Because if I was playing, I get beat bloody early. And yeah, it's a great tournament, and the guys will back me up, I think, on that one.
And Glenn, if I move on to yourself, I mean, you know all about, say, winning titles, Premier League, 2 times Master, 3 times back-to-back Lakeside champion. Then all no, it's serious stuff. Now, obviously, we all know. There's no point in just sort of moving away from it. Your career went like this, and of course it tapered off pretty quickly. So, out of all the players here, no, I'm not. Of all the players here,
the set of darts.
You know what it's like to be playing on the big stage and then not playing on the big stage. This is the time of the year when dreams are made, and that must be a player like yourself who's playing recently. This is the time when it perhaps hurts the most when you're not up there playing.
It's always interesting what the players are doing right now. I listened to what Phil was talking about. He said he'd do 1 media day and then be focusing on the practicing. A lot of players are going down the exhibition route. It's lucrative. They're getting good money for it. I like the players who are at home, practicing hard, being dedicated. You just want to peak at the right time. Luke Humphreys has won the last 3 majors. You know, did he peak at the right time? I quite like what Paul said there. It is an open competition, but Ali Pali this year, I think the cream will rise to the top, and I see only potential 3 winners.
So do I. We'll come back to you for that. I only see 3. Phil, of course, you know what it's all about. You won this 16 times. I mean, it's... And let's not forget, it was only really 1 set away from winning 12 on the trot in the middle, the game against John Park. Now, you must have been walking into these venues at some stage in your life, right in the middle of that. Did you ever feel completely invincible? Like, I literally cannot be beat?
Always! No, you never walk into a tournament and think you're unbeatable. You walk in there fully practiced, fully dedicated. Towards the end of my career, well, not towards the end of my career, probably the last 10 years, it was difficult for me because we had the Premier League, you were away from home week in and week out, and then coming up towards Christmas, I couldn't practice because I was doing that much press. But the players don't know this, what I did. Mark will probably tell you, Paul will probably have half a clue, and Glenn will. But I was away, sometimes I probably have 2 days to get ready for the World Championships. And the press officer then, I was saying, listen, you've got to leave me alone here. I've got 2 days, and I've got a good player. Do you know what I mean? I could have Mark first round, I could have Paul first round. Anybody that qualifies for the World Championship is a good player. They practice for weeks on end. This is what people don't realise.
Yeah. I'll come to Paul in a second. I remember seeing a video or reading it. I remember you used to be in contact with Eric, Chris, New Year's Eve, right? Just hit me first 180 of the new year. So you was focused all the way through
Where
the
have you
tournament.
gone now? Where have you gone from? Where?
I've seen it, I think, on a YouTube clip when
This was 1990s now.
Yeah, that's fine, Phil. You was winning World Championships in 1990s.
Did I practice? Did I practice? Did I bloody hell?
Yeah.
Because I've got no money. My objective to play darts was to earn money.
Yeah.
I tried boxing, I tried judo, I tried karate. I tried Sabutio. I was a player. But I tried every... Listen,
Yeah.
you've got to let me finish before you ask another question. I tried every sport in the world, but the one sport that I was good at was darts. So I thought, right, you've got to now dedicate yourself, which I did. And that was the only reason you're dying. You can ask another question.
I'm just thinking back to 19...
You got more chops than Asda.
No. I'm thinking back to 1990. Seems a long time ago, but that's when this young man started winning his world titles.
One of the things that proves Phil's point is if you go back to Adrian Lewis's first world title win, Phil was there. Phil was in the audience talking to Sky Sports, and when he said, if Adrian wins this tournament, I'll be very happy to make sure that he gets all of the press the next 12 months as the world champion. And funnily enough, when Adrian became world champion, he still got all the press. So it didn't do any good. But yeah, it's just...
That fingers, Paul, I still do. it's mental. I'm not even in the World Championships and I'm getting phone calls every day.
For what you achieve. Now I'm going to quickly look at my phone. It's not being unprofessional. We're going to look at one or two, of course, of the odds that, of course, the sponsors, Paddy Power, are getting involved with. And I'm going to start off talking about the 4 quarter sections. Okay, of course, number 1, yes, of course, starting at the top. Number 1, of course, the number 1 seed. He's not the best player in the world, but of course he is reigning and defending. I'll just give you a couple of names, starting off with the top quarter. Michael Smith, Rob Cross, Johnny Clayton, Chris Dobie, and Ross Smith. Being Michael Smith not perhaps playing how he perhaps should be playing at this time of the year, that's not the worst section, is it?
I'm a big believer in horses for courses, and I think Michael Smith will come to the party finally. I don't think he's had a great 2023. I think he's lived the year exactly like Phil wouldn't have done. He's lived it like a party, like a champion. He's been to Las Vegas, he's had the champagne, and he openly admits it. Michael Smith got to the top through hard work and determination. I think he comes good. A really exciting last 16 against a potential Chris Dobie and Ross Smith. Ross Smith has all the ingredients to be a real value for money player. It's a nice section, and I think Michael Smith comes through it.
In Mark, Paul mentioned, of course, Rob Cross. Rob Cross, a gritty sort of player, perhaps doesn't get the respect, I'm going to say, from a lot of the fans he deserves. Of course, he's not only a world champion, of course, European champion as well, and of course, match play. So he's achieved, hasn't he? He has achieved, but Rob Cross will be quietly confident in that section, won't he?
Yeah, rightly so. He's he's a no-nonsense player. I think he doesn't get the recognition he deserves because he just gets on with it. He doesn't really dance around. People will sort of question his rhythm and stuff, but he just does his own thing. But he's some player, and he's talked himself up this year because he said, I'll win a major by the end of the year. But he's kind of running out, it's in next year, technically. But I'm with Paul. I'd be gobsmacked if he won the event, but he'll go deep. He's some player, and that debut was when he won the world title was unreal, one of the best, actually, if not the best.
Yeah, of course, beating Michael as well. I feel that in one tournament, that certainly takes some doing. Now, if we look at the next section going down, this is sexy, isn't it? Gerwin Price, Gary Anderson, Peter Wright, James Wade, Luke Littler, and Raymond van Barneveld. Imagine Luke Littler, the first ever World Youth Champion, to also be World Champion. It can't happen, can it, Paul? Can it, Paul?
We've been saying for quite some time now that Littler at such a young age can do incredible things. But where can he stop at this age? What's the thing that's too much? He's won 2 consecutive Motor Super Series titles. He's then gone on to be World Youth Champion. And he's won pretty much everything in Gibraltar this week. Yeah. And he's still a kid. But make no mistake, when it comes to Christian Kist, who's unfortunately not in the best of form or health, that game looks very winnable for Luke. But I wouldn't want to be Andrew Gilding right now.
No, in the next round.
He will be bricking it because Andrew's had a great season, but let's face facts. If he's going up against Littler, the crowd are going to be for Luke, and they're going to be all for him. This is going to be unbelievable. And I can see Littler getting to round 3, minimum.
Yeah, and the thing is, of course, Andrew Gilding will probably start, we're looking at a bit of value, Andrew Gilding will probably be favourite if he plays Luke Littler in that round. I think there could be a license to print a little bit of money with Luke Littler there, because if their first dart goes into treble 20, now Phil, you have seen youngsters come and go. Your career, of course, was so long, if you like. How would you deal if you were playing?
When I first started, Jockey Wilson was a junior champion.
Wilson, yeah.
Come on, let's be honest with you. What was the question?
So Luke Littler, how would you deal? Luke Littler, of course, a superstar.
I would play Luke Littler at mid-A day. I practiced and I beat him. And I beat him at the game. Listen, anybody that's a world champion knows how to beat somebody or knows how to get ready for a player. And you have to get ready for a player. If you're on about the World Championship, there's only one winner in my eyes, that's Michael van Gerwen. I think he's at the right, he's just at a 9-darter, he's playing well. Listen, they're all good players. Paul's right, they're all good players. Now you've got an exceptional player who knows how to win. Yeah. And he wants to win. I was with him last week and I looked at Michael and said, you got that lie of the tiger again? He went, I'm right. Right. So you do. And I said, what? But he has.
Glenn, if I mentioned you,
is that new teeth?
If we talk about the World Championship, I don't think, and this might be a silly thing to say, I don't think it's the hardest title to win. I think, as Phil was saying, you get a bit of time off in between. Am I right, Phil? Would you say, because of course you went deep into match play, do you think, for example, the World Championship is a tougher competition to win than something like the World Match Play?
No, it's not. You get more time off.
It's a big difference.
You go into the World Championships, when I was playing, then you go into there, you get probably 2 days. Hopefully, you get past the first round, and then you get 6 or 7, 8 days off. Match play, you get 2. Yeah. It's a lot different.
Big difference. And Glenn, I'm going to quickly mention, you was always known as a gritty player. Now, in the third round, we're talking about Luke Littler. Potentially, he plays somebody called James Wade, who just knows how to win darts matches. So, if that happens in the third round, does James Wade do a job, do a James Wade type of job?
Yes, he does. And I'm a big fan of Luke Littler. I think he's a real generational player. I think you can put him to when I saw Michael van Gerwen at 16 in the Norway Open going back in the 80s, when I seen a generational player, Adrian Lewis, practicing with a generational player. But James Wade, that word experience as well comes in, and I think James Wade looks really good at the moment.
He does.
I fancy
and
his
he seems to be hitting 180s. Mark, can I ask you, in that section, of course, the favourite to come through that second section is the Iceman Gerwen prize. Now, where do you stand on the idea that he won a World Championship with no crowd? Is that irrelevant, or is that relevant? You know, the way that the crowd gets onto him.
Tough to win a Premier League with no crowd, let me tell you.
And do you know what, Glenn? It's hard to do 2 9-darters with a crowd.
Stop right there, because after he talks, I've got nothing.
I miss a third.
I've got nothing. No. I think the Gerwen prize thing's got some relevance because he gets a mark. I think they've left him alone a little bit this year. It crept back in at the Grand Slam, did it, and a bit of Minehead. I think the Premier League, he was quite savvy. He obviously wore shirts based on the colours of that city, and he was kind of doing all right, and he was the best player in the Premier League. He didn't win it, but he was the best player. Playoff night, Michael van Gerwen's experience counted, but I'm expecting him to have a big tournament. He's played so well this year, probably deserves more than what he's got. It's that little bit of luck, but yeah, I'd expect him to come through that section. Not comfortably, there's a few bumps and everything. There's a potential match with Gary Anderson as well, quite early. So he's going to find it tough, but look, he's played well. If he gets it right there, he'll definitely be a threat.
Paul, section number 3, we mentioned Michael van Gerwen because he's a short prize favourite to get through this section. Second favourite with the bookies is Josh Rock. It goes Bunting, Noppert and Hetter. I like Stephen Bunt. He is playing some wonderful darts at the moment.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why a lot of us, including Phil, and I'm right on the Michael van Gerwen train, I think he makes the semis and indeed goes on to win the tournament. But if you look at Josh Rock, he's had a better statistical year this year, but hasn't had the same sort of level of wins. And there's been a lot made recently about averages versus wins. Everybody wants wins, of course. Josh hasn't had that this year. He's still got one more chance to make a statement. But I see MVG looking at that section saying, that is mine. There's nobody going to stop me. It's as simple as that. But you are right. His biggest threat is in bunting. But one of the key margins between those two players happened less than a month ago.
Bunty's never beaten.
It's the scar tissue of Minehead. If Stephen gets in front of Michael by maybe a set or two, he's going to think, right, I'm in the same position again. And how does he handle that? Now, he's more savvy than he was before, Stephen Bunting. He's right up there and he's right there. The darts are brilliant. But Michael, just for me, he's right on it at the minute.
Can I just say, Stephen Bunting's in a section with Ryan Joyce and Alex Spellman. I think the three of them there are really, that's a tough little section. That's not a gimme for Bunty.
Well, we move on now to the final section, the bottom section there, and of course it features the reigning Grand Slam, Grand Prix, and of course Players Champion, cool hand Luke Humphries, who realistically, when he missed double 4, double 2, double 1 in the World Series semi-final against Michael van Gerwen, I thought, he's gone again, he's struggling again, but I'll tell you what, he come back. Gerwen Price, he done a proper job on him to get his nose over the line to win his first major. This man is the real deal, and now he's won 3 major trophies. He must go into this totally relaxed, or is the pressure on him?
Well, I don't think I'm the right man to ask. What I'd like to say is to Phil, you've won your last 3 majors. My argument is, has he peaked at the wrong
If
time?
I won the last 3 majors.
Yeah, exactly. How do you go to it?
You got no chance at all in this house. It's different. It's different when I was about. Honestly, Paul will tell you. Mark was there. Listen, it was different when I was about. I was like Eric. I had that name for myself. It's different now. The younger players, the mentality of the younger players, they don't care. They don't care. Listen, Phil Taylor can walk up there 84 times world champion. They don't give a rat's behind about what you are. They've been practicing every day. The only thing that I notice about players, the younger players, the bedroom players, they're practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing. And they throw fast because there's nobody with them. These players are fast throwers. So the days where, like when Eric started with me, you play the player. So when Paul goes up and goes ding, 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 slow down a little bit. Play the player. Do you know what I mean? They're all younger. Josh Rock, I'd ride him in bits. Paul would ride him in bits. I know you would. You would. Don't tell lies. You know what I mean? We all would. Mark's that suited Mark's style. It didn't suit me or Paul. Glenn is a mediocre thrower, so you play the player. No, I don't mean mediocre. Medium, let's shut up.
So,
You'll need another one of them. You medium pace then. Sorry. Listen, I love him to this.
so the sponsors, Paddy Power, make Luke Humphries favourite for the World Championship. I can't believe I'm saying that 6 months ago. Now, that's what the bookie's saying. Let's start with you, Paul. I would like we've mentioned it before, but your who you think's going to lift the trophy on January the 3rd, and also an outsider, somebody with a little bit of value to watch out for. Starting with you, Paul.
I think it's really interesting to start with the fact that Luke Humphries is the favourite with the bookmakers. Think back to the start in 1994 and onwards. How many people have been favourite for the tournament? Not many. He's been favourite, most of them. And then Michael since then. So Humphries being favourite is an oddity.
Yeah.
For me, it's Michael van Gerwen winning it. I think he beats Gary Anderson in the final and a repeat of the 2017 final. I would love to see it with a lot of ups and downs along the way.
I like it. And Mark.
Look, I get why Luke's a favourite, and I don't buy into this that he can't win because he's won the last 3 and it's sort of look. I don't think he's peaked. He's a brilliant player and he'll be winning tournaments for years to come. But I think that clash, I can see him and Michael van Gerwen in that semi-final. And I don't think boring guys say the same as you, but I think Michael van Gerwen wins the event. He's just a bit peed off at the minute. He wasn't happy when he lost the final at the Players' Champs because he was brilliant. And when he's angry, he generally puts it right pretty quickly. And what Phil says, he just looks focused. Him and Luke Humphries could be some semi-final, but I see Michael winning the event.
Now, we said about scar tissue, you know, how it stays in your mind. Phil,
I never mentioned scar tissue.
No, over here. You was the master, of course, if you happen to get beat by a player, almost got revenge on that player. Was that just a myth, or was it, he beat me last time, I am absolutely gunning for him the next time, or is that just a myth?
No, I loved it. I loved it when I got beat. It was the best. Listen, you can win and win and win and win and win and win, but it's not really good practice. When Paul beat me or Mark beat me, then you know what you're doing wrong. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but a lot of the times you hadn't got time to practice properly. So I'd say to the Sky or I'd say to Barry, listen, this ain't happening again. I'm getting beaten here by people that I'm not getting prepared for. These are good players. Yeah. So I've got to get ready. So leave me alone. Let me get on with it. I'll do my interviews. And I say to every player, Michael Smith, the same, Ada, the same, do one day. Do everybody in one day. I didn't. I was down London every bloody week. Honestly, it's different than the players are now. And then what you do is you put it bloody right. It's like getting punched in the face. You make sure you don't get punched again.
Now you said your pick, of course. You would have mentioned Michael van Gerwen. Anyone in particular to watch out for?
Fallon Sherrick.
Fallon would be great to see. Fallon.
She's one of the best finishers I've ever seen.
Under pressure, unbelievable.
And I wish Bo Greaves was playing. I really, honestly, she is a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
She'd have been, I would rate to draw there.
Unbelievable.
Seriously.
Would you want to be Jermaine Wattamina right now?
No. Absolutely not.
I wouldn't.
No. And Glenn, you're outsider. And of course, I think you said 3 players. I assume we're talking Luke, Michael and Gerwen, are we?
Yeah.
And right, so is it going to be...
I think Michael Smith plays Gerwin Price in the first semi-final. Gerwin Price wins. I think Michael van Gerwen plays Luke Humphreys with Michael coming through.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, and Gerwin Price to win it. I just think it's his time.
Can you imagine that semi-final lineup for the Paddy Power World Championship?
Yesterday I'm going home from Sky as well, typical.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's going to be some fantastic darts. It's the most
Paul, this is going to
incredible
be
tournament.
a fantastic World Championship.
And of course, Paddy Power are giving away £1,000 for every 180. So hopefully,
And it's starting tonight.
we're going to get near £1 million to give away. And of course, they're also targeting 180,000 subscribers to use the app, of course, to check yourself at prostate cancer. So well done to Paddy Power. Great work.